Hello, everybody. Dave Neal here, stand-up comic and host of Bachelor Nation News. We have a Bachelor in Paradise sort of update. Tweets from both Aaron and Genevieve regarding the conversation that they had, which led to their ultimate getting back together last night on the show. I don't know how the relationship stands, so this isn't a spoiler, but after seeing their comments on Twitter, one might think they're not doing too well. Now, of course, they've fought all the time. It's going to be really hard to sift through the wreckage of like who started it, who brought toxic behavior. Chances are they both just had very different communication styles. My guess is that Aaron is the type of guy who just wants everybody to get along. He wants to have fun. He wants no drama. And my guess is that Jen is the type who wants a little bit more attention than she's getting from Aaron. And by showing that, it starts a fight and drama. Again, it doesn't mean either one is right or wrong. They just have different styles. And chances are, if your love language isn't being filled, you either get bitter or resentful or, start some chaos. So anyway, we're going to get into this right now. Follow me on Instagram at DNeals, patreon.com/Dave Neal for bonus behind-the-scenes content. So Decider.com actually did a good job breaking this down, so I'll read a few of their paragraphs. Bachelor in Paradise fans aren't shipping Aaron and Genevieve after a wild gaslighting fight. Yes, did you have gaslighting on the bingo card? Usually that's what people on Reddit and in the comment section accuse the contestants of doing, but it isn't too often that the contestants accuse each other of doing it, although we do remember Katie Thurston accused Greg Grippo of gaslighting. Just about every therapist we've spoken to, and by we I mean me, have said that the term gaslighting has been used incorrectly by the contestants. Things got dark on episode 11 of Bachelor in Paradise, so dark that contestants repeatedly dropped the G word, gaslighting. Formerly rock-solid Paradise favorite couple Aaron Clancy and Genevieve Parisi survived split week, but it seems like they've gotten into daily disagreements since being back on the beach. The two fought after the return of Jen's ex, Justin, in episode 10 and in episode 11 last night. They had a blowout so major that Genevieve was steps away from leaving Paradise for good. The two were on good terms for the majority of the episode, with Aaron telling cameras he was on cloud 10 with Genevieve, but everything fell apart and somehow came back together in the last 30 minutes. Jen realized she was falling in love with Aaron and wanted to pull him aside and tell him, but he wouldn't stop swimming, hanging with his bros, and sharing his theories about New York City rats and evolution. While all the contestants were lounging on a daybed together, Jen told Aaron she wanted to be alone with him, and he transformed from the sweet, chill guy we got to know in early episodes to an angry, condescending man baby. Are you really doing this? What are you coming at me for? I've done everything right. No other girl is mad at any dude here. After Genevieve calmly explained she was simply sharing her feelings and apologized for wanting 10 minutes with him, Aaron said, "That's gaslighting right there." So that's where they stand. Now, here's what they actually said afterwards. Of course, this is months later. They've had time to reflect. And also, you have to remember, this is the first time that they're seeing the edit and how it plays out. Now, of course, that moment where Jen's fighting with, talking to Victoria in the bathroom, there's this kind of jump cut back to Aaron on the beach. We all know that that wasn't happening at the same time, right? It's just convenient to be like, she's all sad and upset, and he's like, oh, bro, here's the deal with Bitcoin, completely different. But, as far as the edit goes, pretty funny in its juxtaposition there. Genevieve said this: nothing relevant to the argument was cut out. What you saw is what happened, and that's what Genevieve had to say. Aaron had to say more. He said, guys, reality TV is not actual reality, but it is actually on TV. And of course, that's what the villain normally says when it comes to, hey, the edit you're seeing is not what actually happened. But I tend to agree with Aaron. The truth is somewhere in the middle of the final product. Usually we say there's your side, my side, and the truth is in the middle. But what we actually have is a triangle. There's Aaron's side, Genevieve's side, and then the edited side, and the truth is somewhere in the middle. He said, like 40 hours of filming a week condensed into 4 hours. You see such a small part. And then he said, guys, truly not the convo at all. So we have Aaron saying not the convo, and then we have Genevieve saying, well, what you saw is what actually happened. Now, chances are, like I said, it's somewhere in between, but others have said things like, why are they acting like that whole fight was normal? That was not normal. That was toxic. Reality Steve said, fighting a lot and making up does not mean two people are made for each other. Eliza and Victoria's take on this is awful. Of course, their take being, wow, if a couple can fight like that and stay together, they must be meant to be. And then a random commenter said, in my opinion, that's a form of adrenaline junkie, addicted to the rush of emotions, any emotions. Your relationship is bipolar. Now that, of course, I don't know if that's a therapist or just a random Twitter commenter, but, there's a good point there that we have sort of this dopamine that we're always looking for. I'll be honest. I mean, I get it with my social media and my YouTube. I get it with stand-up when I go on stage. I'm searching for this thrill. Now, what I have to remember in my life is that the thrill can't be the thing that makes or breaks my day. So your relationship, maybe you're in Rome seeing the Sistine Chapel with your new lover. Your relationship can ride the waves, those spikes of dopamine, that fresh love. But it can't be everything. We always say relationships should be the dessert, not the main course. And with that, what we're saying is the relationship shouldn't be the thing that needs to be everything for your happiness to work out. Now, again, it's complicated here. I think a lot of people will lean on Jen's side for one reason, because the majority of the audience is women and it's easier to empathize with your own gender. That's just a fact. But also because when Jen did try to talk to Aaron, he was like, let me see if I have time. I have to worry about my happiness. He really doubled down in that moment. Now, he was coming off like an a-hole, like a dick. Of course, I'm sure he would agree with that. But what you have to do in these types of things when someone does come off the wrong way is sort of look at what they're actually saying here. Now, I'm no therapist. I don't know everything, but I know if somebody snaps at their partner, chances are there's something they don't feel is resolved. So Aaron might feel resentment. He might feel resentment towards Jen because he's trying to have a good time and she keeps on getting in her own head. Now, Jen will tell you she is getting in her own head. She posted this. Let's see if we can find it the other day. Let's see. She said, not the jungle path. Yeah, that's where they fought. She said, gaslighting, no, not a buzzword. No, well, gaslighting is a buzzword, but it's also a real word, and we just need to know how to use it. She said, of course, these are new comments I hadn't read before. She said, of course, I understand the guys want time with the guys. Did we forget we were just away from our guys for a week and I wanted some time? I was never mad. I was upset because I wanted to talk to him alone about something. Is that too much to ask in a very calm way? There's a potential engagement in 2 weeks. I don't think there's time to talk about evolution. Well, just because there's an engagement doesn't mean every single conversation has to be, super serious, but I understand the point. Did she say anything else? Not a single second of my conversation with both twins was shown because all I talked about was Aaron. I would have... She said, I was upset about Justin returning because of what it caused between me and Aaron, not for any other reason. That's the last thing I'll say about this. And she also said this, I was wearing that tan bikini yesterday when Aaron and I got in the fight about Justin arriving. So that is when those in the moments about Justin were filmed. I'm not still speaking about it the next day. Of course, because people were wondering, why is she still talking about this? So very interesting that Genevieve's actually sharing information that was in the edit. I know the contracts stipulate that they're not supposed to talk about things that weren't shown in the edit. They're supposed to sort of play like what happened is what really happened. But we're seeing this time and again where contestants get very loose with that and fight the edit. What else does she say here? Before she tweeted so much. She said this is going to be a wild one. All right, so that's all we have from that with regards to what Genevieve had to say about her conversations. Unless the show decided to drop the full conversation, which they never will, because the full conversation is never as interesting as what we see there, we're probably not going to get any more information, and that's fine. That's okay. Just a reminder for those out there, gaslighting is defined as psychological manipulation of a person, usually over an extended period of time, that causes the victim to question the validity of their own thoughts, perception of reality, or memories. For me, it's kind of like bullying in a way where bullying, and I know the term bullying has changed, but bullying used to be the sort of act of harassing someone consistently over time. Now, if someone says something mean, we say, oh, they're bullying me. Well, maybe in the new definition, but in the old definition, a bully was someone who would constantly harass you. Well, gaslighting is constant manipulation of someone over time. Let's see, it's a loaded word that is frequently misused, which is why it has such a big deal to hear it in this context. Genevieve immediately tried to shut down Aaron's accusation, saying, do not use that word. But Aaron doubled down, saying, that's what it is. Don't make me feel crazy for a normal thing. And that's where it becomes tough in relationships, where it's like you want to share how you feel about something, and not let it necessarily affect the other person. I'm feeling this way because not you make me feel this way, right? Those you say I's versus you's, because when you say you make me feel crazy, what you're doing is you're putting the pressure on the other person. You're pointing fingers, right? What do they say? When you point one finger at you, it points four back at me, whatever that stupid thing is, right? But the idea is true here. This is why we watch this show, because we've all been in relationships where we think the other person's making us crazy, or no matter what we do, no matter how much benefit of the doubt we give, we just don't get to that point in the relationship where we have each other's best interest. Relationships have to be very selfless. You have to be able to take it on the chin, even if you think you have everyone's best intentions, even if you think you're looking out for your partner. Sometimes you piss them off and you just need to say sorry, because a lot of times it's not necessarily what your intention was, it's how they received it. So if most people's intentions are pure and are good, but if the person receives it in another way, Aaron's intentions might be to have fun, play volleyball, and then on his side time, go hang out with his lady. But his lady, in this case, Genevieve, wants more time, wants to be out having these private conversations, and he doesn't want to give that. In some ways, you could argue he wants the perks of hanging out with the guys, but also he wants the sort of the relationship on his terms. And we have to realize sometimes it's not about our terms, but what is good for the collective too. Let me know what you guys think. But in the end, when Aaron broke down, when he was crying and he said, I just want us to be okay. I just want to be on the beach. I want to be happy. We see, or you guys sometimes see, a big, strong, tall, angry man. But what I see is just, the inner child who's saying, I just want everyone to coexist and be happy. Can't we all get along here? But at the same time, it takes two to tango. Let me know what you guys think. More content coming after this.